Saturday, May 30th, 2026. We are going to get started on today's daily reads in just the next few minutes. But if you'd like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also doing a giveaway today. When we get to 50K likes, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Also, if you're on the hold list and would like to be added back to the list, just let me know the date that you were added to the hold list. I'll be happy to add you back as well. And if you're joining us over on the place where we keep the videos, you can also get on the list via my tree that has Binks in it in my bio. Prior to beginning today's reads, we are going to be doing a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. Now, if you'd like to catch any of those full readings, you can do so over on my spot. You can also as a podcast, you can also find them over on my stack. And you can find them over on the place where we keep the videos. But before we get started today, first and foremost, most important question that we always ask: how are you doing today? Scale of 1 to 10. There are no wrong answers. We've got a pretty intense full moon coming up. We've got a lot of stuff happening. Okay, there's a lot going on. We're gonna talk about it because, like, I gotta tell you, there's something very important. There's something very important that we're potentially seeing right now in relationality to this full moon. That's like it's off to the races kind of energy. You know, it's like it's ready, set, go. And the way I'm going to explain this, I'm just going to walk you guys through it. So we've got a full moon in Sagittarius just a few hours away that's happening in Gemini. And I want to describe, like, it might feel a little messy, is the best way I can describe it. There could be a lot of feelings that are coming up, working through a lot of things. I've got a whole article that I've written about it over in the Mystic Meditation section on the stack. But you have to understand that, and it's really interesting, and I want to kind of bring your attention to what we were seeing in yesterday's read, because in yesterday's read we had something very intriguing that occurred, and I want to talk a little bit about an anomaly, and the anomaly that we had, and you may know this if you stick around a bit here, is I've got 2 decks. Right, here are my 2 decks. I got 2 decks of the Smith-Waite system that I often read from. One of them is a bit older, one of them is a bit newer. I need to have more than one deck about. And occasionally, some of the cards from one of those decks will drift into the other deck. And not only did that happen yesterday, but it happened in a really remarkable way, because we had not just 2 ace cards potentially arrive, like 2 ace of swords arrive in the spread, but we also had 2 ace of pentacles in its reversal. And that's really important when we observe the fact that even with the coincidence in terms of the cards drifting in, that's still really remarkable, especially in the space by which, when we drew the cards, they were all touching. I've still got them here on the table to show you. So they basically came out. They basically came out like this. Let me see if I can pull them around so you guys can get a good view of them. Right? This is what we got. And that's really remarkable and intriguing, right? Because that talks to us about the significance and power of working through a flow state. And the thing about it that you have to observe is, often when we're working through flow states, it's very easy to get sidetracked, right? Like flow states are effectively getting sidetracked in the best way possible, right? So I want you to kind of be conscientious about that, because I feel to a certain extent that a lot of this energy that we're potentially coming into right now during this full moon may feel very similar to a flow state, but it might not. It's like flow states at less than ideal times is the best way I can describe it, right? It's being able to effectively carve out the time to allow for the observation or the ability to kind of move through things. So I want you to be really conscientious about that. You may be feeling this already. There's also something very important that we're seeing in relationality to, and I just want to walk you through some of the big changes that we have coming up over the next few days, right? We've got the full moon in Sagittarius coming up, right? And then immediately on the heels of that, we've got Mercury entering Cancer, okay? And then from there, we've got a new moon in Gemini that's coming up on the 14th. And then on the 19th, Chiron is entering Taurus. On June 21st, Cancer season is going to begin. And then on June 28th, Mars is going to enter Gemini. And then finally, we're going to see on June 30th, and this is going to be big, we're going to have Jupiter that's been in Cancer for like ever, for like ever. It feels like forever. It's finally going to be moving into Leo. So that's a lot of rapid change. Those are some pretty big shifts. But the thing we observe, and this is what's important about it, is when we're working through energy like this, the ability to effectively identify and find points of stabilization allow us to be able to do something in ways, I like to describe it, different perspectives in terms of our approaches to things, different points of view, right? This is all the type of energy that we can usually expect when we're going through a Gemini season. But the other thing that's very important to recognize right now is we've also got the fact that Jupiter and Venus are currently in Cancer together. And the thing about it, and this is all I'm going to keep on articulating as it relates to this full moon energy, right? Working through the context of our emotions, or feeling a lot of that resonance as it relates to our emotions. There's something important about being able to effectively identify and work through energy like this by understanding and recognizing. And I want to describe it like this: taking ownership, taking ownership for our emotions is how we find responsibility for them, right? And you'll often notice, right? You'll often notice the journey of those who are too deep in the ego, that often like to articulate upon the state by which they're not necessarily taking ownership of their emotions. And so what we often understand and identify is the space by which we take accountability for our emotions is how we navigate the shape or the work that we do related to our own maturation cycles. And the reason I'm bringing that up right now, because we got to talk about what we see is happening for the energy that's working through relationship, because we recently saw a big shift that occurred. And the big shift that we're kind of navigating right now in the realm of relationships has to do with the fact that we saw that right around the time that Taurus new moon energy arrived, right? We saw the relationships moving out of world lessons, right? The lessons that we see in the world card of the tarot, and into strength. Now, I personally love the strength card. It's a card that has a lot of significance to me, but it's also really important to understand that the way that I often read into that card is somewhat different than how others do, because it makes a lot of sense to me for the fact that we're seeing that as we're navigating through this Sagittarius full moon, we see the arrival of a lot of these strength relationships, because I personally identify the Strength card with Sagittarian energy. And we're going to probably talk a lot about that as we continue through a lot of the lessons that we're potentially going to see in this energetic cycle. We're already seeing them in yesterday's read. Specifically, and I want to describe this, like we started yesterday's read with Temperance card in its reversal, along with the Seven of Swords in its reversal. Now, what's important or intriguing to identify in relationality to that work is being able to understand, right? And I like to see these three cards that we were identifying that were coming through in yesterday's read for the energy and solitude, because what we effectively identify here is we've got the Queen of Cups in its reversal with the Temperance card in its reversal and the Seven of Swords in its reversal. So what does that effectively speak towards? It speaks towards, right? It speaks towards navigating one's emotions with a sense of responsibility. And what is important when we identify the word responsible? Conveying resonance, right? The ability to understand that the resonance, right? The resonance that we give to our emotions helps us identify if those emotions are responsible emotions or if there's something that we ourselves have to work on internally. So we see that for a lot of the energy, kind of navigating that work, that observation, right? Potentially being in solitude and working on holding emotions responsibly. One of the things that we potentially see that's occurring there is a lot of feelings that may come up as it relates to experiences by which we either experiences by which we felt that we weren't carrying those emotions responsibly, or experiences by which others weren't navigating their portion of relationship with us in a responsible fashion. Because it's the understanding that when we're in healthy relationship, right? When we're in healthy relationship, we don't we don't project those emotions out onto each other, but rather we articulate what our needs are based upon how we're energetically feeling. So I feel like it's interesting because I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of energy right now that's in solitude that is prioritizing self-care or identifying what self-care experience what the experience of self-care is to the individuated self at the moment. So we see that for a lot of the energy doing that work, heavy conversations or contemplations in terms of meeting emotional needs or new relationships by which they're having conversations upon how they're trying or working towards carrying their emotions responsibly. Now, as it relates to those world relationships that are moving deeper into divine union right now, and again, for our purposes, the world relationships were the relationships that were coming together between the time of that Taurus new moon that we experienced, which occurred around May 16th, leading into the Capricorn new moon that we experienced January 18th of this year. What we effectively identify that's happening for these relationships is this is potentially feeling like a very expansive time. A lot of opportunity, a lot of exploration that's potentially occurring. I feel like there's something about it that feels very prospective is what I keep on getting, perspective and directive, specifically because you'll have to recognize that for some of these relationships, the ability to be in a relationship that feels like the most mature relationship they've ever experienced, specifically with individuals that are able to articulate upon what that path or direction is. We see that for a lot of those relationships, the ability to identify or feel that fortified direction and feeling held in the embrace of that fortified direction, it almost like, I want to say, it almost feels like the relationships that are gaining momentum, specifically because, as I mentioned, one of the primary one of the prioritized points of some of these new relationships that are coming together in that energy has to do with the relief in being in a relationship with mature energy that isn't afraid to openly discuss, right, the direction that they aspire the relationship to go. And in the space by which they have that clarity of foresight, they're able to build plans like they never have before. Now, this brings us to the relationships that are deep within divine union right now. And those are effectively the moon relationships that were coming together between the time of January 18th, when we had that new moon in Capricorn, leading into Uranus first going in retrograde, which happened September 6th of last year. Now, these relationships right now, I feel like there's something about it feels very much like what we're seeing in some of these relationships right now is potentially conservation of energy. What's interesting about that is these relationships, it's feeling very ironic in a lot of those relationships, because I'm going to tell you right now, these are relationships that were having a lot of hesitation in terms of coming into partnership, specifically because they'd had individuals or experiences by which they felt that another person was not looking so much as being in relationship to them, but asking them to conform to the ideal that they perceived of them. So, what's happening right now? They're in a relationship that isn't built on ideals, but rather honoring the reality of the individuals within it. And so, in the space by which they feel, right, in the space by which they feel that they're finally free to be in their most authentic expression, what do we see that they're energetically choosing? They're choosing stability. But it's because it's the articulation and the amplification of the fact that it feels like a mutual choice that's occurring that is right, like that's the profound moment that they're energetically experiencing, because they're understanding the difference between following an inclination versus feeling like one has to conform to a directive in partnership. So there's something there that feels very, it feels, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some chagrin that's being navigated there, or something in relationality to kind of working through that observation, because it's the understanding, right? It's the understanding of them being able to work through something, or I like to describe it feels very much like identifying a new normal, right? Or working into the space of integrating something new with something energetically traditional, right? Like welcome to Gemini season. Now that is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective reads. But if you would like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on my spot as a podcast and over on my stack. I would also encourage you to head over to my stack to learn more about our next tarot class, which is going to be held on Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the ace cards in the tarot. If you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive, as well as the opportunity of receiving a complimentary mentorship class with me where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber, go ahead and give me a follow there because we have to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my mystic meditation articles there, which will let you know about what we can expect energetically that we've been seeing in the cards based on the lunation cycles. Like I said, I just released a new article today on navigating this full moon that we've got coming up. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take, and that's why I take a very limited number of students for this particular reason. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or biweekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute reads, again, weekly or biweekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey at a discount, as well as dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. Now, if you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or biweekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. But let me know in the comments how this energy is impacting you personally, because it is going to hit everybody just a little bit differently. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. Thank you guys so much for filling the list. We've got 5 spots available. Only 5 spots left today. If you would like to secure one of those spots, all you need to do is send a donation via my tree that has Binks in it in my bio. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Being Semi-Lio, we read for here highest priority messages from spirit, life path, angelic, dream interpretation, past life, mediumship, love readings, pet readings, animal spirit readings, akashic, mind, body, spirit, love, aura, and symbol decoding. If you have information, if you are on the hold list and would like to be added back to the list, all you need to let me know is the date that you were added to the hold list. I'll be happy to add you back as well. And if you're joining us over on the place where we keep the videos, you are entitled as paid members to the same benefits that I've identified as subscribers, which means the discounted rate on readings if you get on the list, as well as a free reading each day. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. I'm also going to read the list for those who are asking about it. The list we currently have right now is Alexandra, Yaz, Stella, Ella, and Lisa. If I have not named you and you're on the list, please send me your name and the initial, just the initial where you sent the payment. Okay, I don't need the apps are very jealous. They don't want to hear the other apps' names in their house. Okay. How are you doing today? Welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for the compliment. What a peculiar thing to ask, underrated. How are you doing today, Dev? We are about to get started on personal readings and 1 cards. How are you doing today, Himali? If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, by all means, please feel free to correct me. Welcome, Chill. Hi there. Welcome. Welcome from New Zealand. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And how you doing today, Cheese? Good to see you. Absolutely. And welcome, Lax. One moment, please. Oh, thank you so much for the compliment, Keo. We've got some rules as it relates to the chat space, my friends, and I want to make sure that you honor them if you would like to remain in the space where you can communicate through it. One of the rules is we don't post non sequiturs in the chat space. So if you're posting non sequiturs or things that are not have any relationality to what we're articulating here, please note that you will be removed. That said, I appreciate it. And you guys also, for those who are joining us, you can go to our code of conduct to be able to see what is and is not accepted in that space. Thank you so much for being here and receiving these messages. And welcome, Jack. How are you doing today? Hi there, Harleen, Grand Rising Creative. Ella, thank you so much for the compliment. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome from Argentina. How are you doing today? And thank you, Ella, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. We're doing, oh, listen, I would not be surprised right now if you're telling me that you're having wild dreams. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of karmic stuff coming up in them. And if you have a dream that you would like interpreted, you can include the dream in the notes when you send the donation, or you can post it in our subscriber only disco channel in the appropriate channels if you are a paid subscriber. Okay. Hi there, Team Osana. Good to see you today. Halima, I'm happy to read for you on that. If you'd like to get on the list, list is open. I've got 5 spots available before the list will be closed today. Yeah, old things coming up. Sending you support, Ella. For a read, Ricky, I believe you just became a super fan. Thank you. So if you are a super fan, it is 4 cards for 23 for super fans. And you also are entitled to a free 1 card reading each day when we get to the free 1 cards. And thank you for becoming a subscriber. Thank you for the follow, dear. And Sunny, thank you for the follow. And thank you so much, Diaz, for the follow. And thank you as well for the follow, Z Dog. How are you doing today, Stella? Good to see you. Thank you for encouraging everyone to tap healing. I appreciate you. Guys, make sure to give healing some love. I feel very creative today. Yeah, I told you, we were seeing this chariot in yesterday's read. It's flow state energy. So it's like make room for the flow state. You're so welcome, Ella. Absolutely. Personal readings. Yep, I have to leave. No problem. Okay, absolutely. And thank you for sharing the live, Bridget. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Jude, thank you for the follow as well. Excellent. Hi there, Kath. Good to see you today. So we are doing a reverse live today. So we're going to be prioritizing 1 card readings and personals. We're going to be doing personal readings first and 1 cards. So given whether we have the time, once we complete those reads, we will see if we have time to be able to do the full collective read. That said, we are going to dive straight into the personal readings today. If anybody else wants to get on the list today, we've got 5 spots available before the list will be closed. The first person we're reading for today on the list is Alexandra. Alexandra, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And if anybody else wants to get on the list right now, you will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 person read for. Excellent. Second call right now for Alexandra. Second call right now for Alexandra. If Alexandra is not here, we're going to move right down the list into Yaz. Yaz, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Jude, if you'd like to get on the list, all you need to do is send the donation payment. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more for non-subscribers, or the gift of a meteor shower. Absolutely. Perfect. Hi there, Ibrahim. If you'd like to get on the list, all you need to do is send the donation payment via my tree that is being sent in my layout, dear. Excellent. All right, let's get to it. And just oh, how you doing today, Julia? I hope people show up late so we can do 1 card. I gotta tell you right now, though, the thing is, with this type of energy, I wouldn't be surprised is the best way to describe it. All right, the next person we're reading for today, if we're still waiting for Alexandra and we're still waiting for Yaz, is Stella. I know Stella's here. Stella, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And please remember, if you are on the hold list and would like to be added back to the list, all you need to do is let me know the date and I'll be happy to add you back as well. I know I tried to tell you guys it would be. I tried to tell you it would be weird energy. It's a new flow state. It's a new flow state. It's a new phase. It's like I wrote about it. I wrote about it in the Mystic Meditations. I've been trying to explain this. Julia on the list right now. Well, technically, we've got 5 people on the list, but 2 people are missing right now, which means if you were to get on the list right now, you'd probably be the 4th person read for. Like Lisa, Lisa's ready for it. I'm very, um, it's funny too because I feel very inclined to do a tarot astrology reading because this type of energy is gonna hit all the signs in like completely different ways, like absolutely completely different ways. Absolutely. Again, it's really wild. Ibrahim, it's really wild. It's really wild to talk about someone in the third person because it indicates that you're talking to someone else. So I need to ask you, who do you believe you're talking to if you're not communicating directly with me? Who else would be here that you feel that you're trying to get approval from? And how long have you been looking for that approval? I've got a very simple rule for staying in this space. It's the same rule that most of the teachers have, which is you have to be kind to the people in the chat space and you also have to be kind to the person that's delivering the message. So I'm going to kind of point that out. You could be doing anything right now with your time. You could be out creating good, right? You've got a very finite amount of work to do here. I want to make sure that you're making the right choice in terms of how you're choosing to utilize it. So, absolutely. All right, we're going to continue right now. How are you doing today? Grand Rising Mia, good to see you. I got you on the list. Thank you so much, Grace. We've got 2 more individuals on the list for today before the list will be closed. The next person we're reading for today is Stella. I've got you, dear. We're doing angelic guidance. And before we do so, we are going to warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide cards here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the crane. We'll be doing that again after the next reading. And I'm going to be pinning up Stella here, my friends. Make sure that you give Stella some love. Excellent. One moment. Okay. And can I please get 4 cards? 4 cards, please, for Stella. Highest priority messages from Spirit, angelic guidance, please. I've already got a lot of it. I've got a lot of inclinations in terms of where this is happening, what's going on right now. Okay. So I think you recognize what's potentially occurring right now, which is the fact that there's an energetic shift that's potentially happening right now, is what I keep on seeing. And what I keep on getting right now is, there's something very important that I'm identifying in relationality to a message that's being conveyed as it relates to hateful energy potentially revealing itself. And the observation that what they're trying to, it's interesting too, because it feels like it's coming. I think I've articulated to you the fact that I see there's 2 different angelics that I'm identifying that are potentially around you right now. And I keep on seeing that there's an energetic shift that's potentially occurring in terms of the work that, like, and it's interesting too, because I almost see you moving back and forth between those energies. And a lot of it I'm seeing has to do with how you're potentially carrying energetic feelings in terms of something that was not necessarily right or correct. And the thing I keep on identifying, it's interesting too, because I'm getting 2 different messages that are coming through in relationality to that work. the first is understanding. The first message that's coming through feels like it's coming through via the old guide. And what I'm getting in relationality to that older angelic that was moving with you to a large for a large period of time is it's relating to me the observation that you learn everything about another person in terms of how they themselves um, carry your despair is what I'm getting. And what I'm seeing in terms of that is the space by which, right, when we feel energetic despair, then the observation of being able to articulate to another what could effectively alleviate that is how we are able to facilitate the possibility if there's something there that can energetically heal. And everything I keep on seeing in relationality to that is a message that's coming through around that guide about how proud they are of you in terms of how far you've come. Because the one thing I keep on getting is if you've noticed some kind of recent change, they're articulating that nothing, the only thing that's changed, right? The only thing that's changed in a circumstance or situation is your ability to perceive what's energetically limiting you or holding you back. And I keep on getting this because like it's saying to me like the energy, and it's interesting too because um there's something really important that I'm seeing there in terms of the word like the energy the energy that effectively delights in seeing you in a state of sadness. They're articulating to me that that energy is already like I want to describe it. It's hard to explain, but you have to understand that the quality and condition by which the guides see us is often perceived by frequencies, but they often identify the fact that that energy is effectively flatlined, right? And the thing you have to identify in relationality to that is their determination to choose to be in a flatlined state is the space by which, right, like it's like I keep on getting the fact that they're showing me someone whose eyes are like this because they're articulating upon the fact that they're absolutely blind to recognize the damage that they themselves are doing by expressing or showing. And like this is the thing about it, when angelic energy sees another individual delighting off of the perception of suffering, there's no energetic connection there, right? When I talk about that, like when we talk about the space by which angelic energy turns their back from others, it has to do in the modality of another person reveling in an individual's despair. That is what is identified as negligible energy because it shows energy that only cares for things to go lower, and it's often energy that likes to articulate upon the fact that they're righteous in the process of doing so. And that's why I keep on hearing, I feel like I see a lot of energetic protection around you right now, but it's hard because I wouldn't be surprised with energy like this, right? And we've kind of talked about it, the combination force, the combination force of Sagittarian energy moving with Gemini can create, right? It can create a lot of volatility, especially volatility. It's interesting too. I keep on getting volatility for those who are lost, right? And the volatility for those who are lost are feeling like there's no rhyme or reason to things, but it's because, right? It's when you're working towards, when you've lost purpose, right? When you've lost purpose and the only joy you get, right? The only joy you get are these, like, they're showing me these like little pinpricks, like these little pinpricks of satisfaction that you get in the space of feeling that you are hurting another, right? Like that is what the angelic energy articulates as the desperate ones, because it's the energy and you have to kind of hold it. Like, and this is kind of the thing. I feel like they're trying to give you these observations in terms of how the angelic energy sees it too, because you have to recognize the volume of pain, right? Understanding the volume of pain that another person is experiencing in the space by which the only satisfaction they can find is creating those states of pain or panic in others, right? That is not your failure point, that's theirs. And your ability to effectively just kind of move through it, right? Not allowing it to effectively move you into the same capacity. It's basically articulating upon the fact that energy like that, they want to drag you down into it, right? It's like that's what they want to do. They delight in dragging things down into the muck of their own, like the muck of their own despair. So don't allow, like be aware of the fact that to a certain extent you're in some kind of space where there's energy that like feels that capacity of desiring to do so. But your ability, right? Your ability of remembering who you are is how you can effectively navigate through circumstances or situations. And I feel like that's really important right now, because I feel like there's something I keep on getting about somebody. Like I keep on hearing somebody try to say to you like, "Oh, I've decided to," like somebody trying to, like, I keep on hearing like a last minute missive, right? I just keep on getting the same message when I read for you, which is pay attention. Your confirmation on this reading will be a last minute missive. It'll be someone who's trying to send you some kind of reprieve. Remember, if they send you a reprieve, it's because they're terrified. It's all I keep on getting every time I read for you right now, right? If your confirmation on this reading is if they try to send you a last minute reprieve, it's not because they're doing you a favor, it's because they're terrified of something going in the direction that they have that they're terrified of something going in the direction that they themselves started, is what I keep on getting. So I want you to be very conscientious about that, because every time I read for you right now, I just keep on getting the same message over and over and over, right? The energy that's trying to make you feel panicked, right? So that you'll accept anything. And then in the modality by which they effectively try to send you some kind of last minute reprieve upon it, understand that's not them. Like, that's not the energy doing you a favor. That's an energy that is absolutely terrified of something moving in the direction that they themselves started to move it into, is what I keep on getting. And it's and like and this is why, like, I'll show you what I keep on seeing, right? This is what I keep on seeing in the cards when I read for you. And it's coming through both ways, right? It's like I told you, it's like somebody who recognizes or realizes, like it feels to me, it feels to me like somebody who's like I just keep on seeing like taking some kind of massive risk in relationality to starting. I just keep on hearing some kind of massive risk in starting some kind of like machine, and the way that they're identifying it, like the like machination is like when angelics talk about machine, they're talking about machination. So the space by which another person, right, like if they're trying to stop the machination that they started, let that be your confirmation that they are afraid of energetically proceeding. And it's not because you're in danger, it's because they are, is what I keep on getting. That, and I feel like it's interesting too, because I've got a lot of, I've got, and it's interesting because it says to me, and I know this is going to sound interesting because I think I told you that I identified that there had been a kind of change angelically in relationality to an angelic moving away from you and another returning. But now I see them both. Like I see them both there to a certain extent, specifically and particularly because like I just keep on getting the fact by which they keep on trying to assure me that you, like, regardless of what another person is trying to make you feel, you are safe as houses, right? Like you're safe as houses right now. There's nothing that you have to energetically fear so much as what they're like, what they're terrified about, what you might energetically reveal is what I keep on getting. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Stella. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you'd like to get on the list, I've only got one more spot available today before the list will be closed. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio, and for those who are paid members over on the place where we keep the videos. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading today. Also, friends, please remember who are joining us on the Clock app, when we get to 50K likes, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. We're at 18K now, so make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Dada, thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate you. Excellent. Please. One moment. Perfect. And thank you so much, Gloria, for the follow. I got you, Kath. Thank you for getting on the list. I'll reread the list for everybody who's on it. Absolutely. Oh, thank you for the compliment, Sparkles. No, they're a very, very talented tattoo artist. Yes, couldn't recommend them enough, Castlebossis. Absolutely. And Lucy, thank you for the follow. Sparkles, thank you for the follow as well. Guys, please just remember, don't message people promising things if you private message them. I know this feeling well. Sending you support on that journey, Chariot. Yeah, it's interesting because it literally it feels like a angelic that was coming back towards you, specifically because like I just keep on getting the fact that they're identifying that there's 2 of them now energetically protecting you. Mm-hmm. You're so welcome, Stella, and sending you support on that journey. Antisocial, thank you for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. And Lauren, thank you for the follow. Hi there, Chariot. Oh, I've got you, dear. Oh, wonderful. We're going to be doing a dream interpretation. Looking forward to it. Thank you for letting me know. All right, let's get to it. Next person we're reading for today, I'm still looking for Alexandra and Yaz. If Alexandra and Yaz are not here yet, the next person we're reading for today is going to be Ella. Ella, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And if anybody else wants to get on the list today, we only have one more spot available today before the list will be closed. So if you'd like to secure that spot, please make sure to send the donation sooner rather than later. Anyone else who gets on the list after that individual comes through will be read for tomorrow. Will be added to the list tomorrow. How are you doing today, Ella? Good to see you. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sending you support on that journey, Sparkles. It's not easy. And again, I hope that something here helps you on that journey as well. I got you. Okay. Is this a past life for you or a past life connection between you and another individual? Can you just confirm, Ella? I think that that's a very, I think that that is a very offensive thing to say about the witchcraft community, Mercury. That is very offensive. Okay. Yes, between you, I got you, dear. Okay. All right, let's see what comes through. Oh, you should see their work. They specifically just do them. They're beautiful. Thank you for sharing the live sparkles. I appreciate you. All right, and before we continue right now with Ella's reading, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10, and when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the Earth Dragon. Thank you. We'll do it again after the next reading. And I'm going to pin up Ella here, friends. Guys, make sure to give Ella some love. Oh, it's like, yeah. Yes. And 2 more, please. Okay. All right. Mm. So I feel like there's something we need to. I've got 2 different energies around you related to a past life experience. And the thing I'm identifying here, I want to pull up your book because I feel like I think we've unpacked this a little bit previously, but I'm identifying a situation in a past life, um, where you and these individuals, um, it's feeling, I want to describe the best way I can identify what I'm seeing here is it feels like there was a situation that I keep on getting the word sibling. And I need to describe this. This is something I often read into that can cause a little bit of fractiousness when we're working in the context of the present experience, because um, when I sometimes see like difficulty in terms of navigating the space by which one tries to give someone the voice of reason, if there is the context by which there was something that was more akin to sibling energy that was happening between you and another individual in a past life, it can sometimes rear its head in the form of energy not wanting to take heed, to what your what you're trying to tell them, is what I keep on getting. Because the thing I keep on getting here, okay, um, I see a situation by which you were the eldest in a past life. And so this feels like a continuation of something that was occurring there. Because the thing I keep on identifying, and here's the thing that feels, and this is what I'm getting in relationality to something that potentially feels unfair in terms of a past life. And I'm just going to put this before you to see if it rings any bells. Okay. There was you may recognize there is a terrible tendency in past life or in the past by which ownership of things would often be bequeathed to the eldest, right? And um, unfortunately, what happens in these situations, and I like to point this out, and I want to describe this. This is what you can I almost call the curse of the eldest, right? Because the eldest can't control the fact that they were first, right? That has absolutely like, it's not the eldest's fault to find themselves in such a position, right? That's not something that anyone can energetically control so much as one just finds oneself in. And so I'm literally identifying a past life where you were potentially, and I literally see you, like this is you in a past life, like literally trying to make peace. Like I see you literally trying to make peace with some of your siblings, in terms of trying to identify the fact of you saying to them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, like, I never even wanted this, right? Like, you're just like, you mean like, and the thing about it is, I see a situation where the energy, right? And it feels like a situation by which energy was taking advantage of your kindness in terms of identifying and recognizing the fact that there was an inherent unfairness point there. Like that's actually what I see is happening there, that has potentially, and this is why, right? This is why I see that in this life, some of the points of confirmation, some of the points of confirmation that you'll potentially have in the fact that this is occurring is often getting into um, unreasonable fights over unfairness, is what I keep on getting, right? I keep on hearing a hypersensitivity as it relates to, I keep on hearing trying to create a sense of false balance. And the reason, and the thing I keep on seeing that's difficult from your perspective is I see you having to have to like, and I can, and like, again, this is what I mean about what was happening about the past life as well. Like you having to put like some kind of cutoff energy there. Right. And I keep on getting, and I want to point this out. It doesn't feel like, when I say cutoff energy, it doesn't feel like you're trying to say to somebody, you can't. But the state by which another person, I almost see you having to articulate to another person that there's a limit to what you can do to create a sense of balance. That to a certain extent, I think that you're kind of arriving to that same point now, like you having to explain to another person that like balance is a point of purview. And I think it's really interesting because you may have noticed that I've been sitting here this whole reading, trying to find your book, right? And I've looked, and the wild thing about it is I've already looked 3 times and your book isn't where it should be. And so I feel like there's something about that that's very significant and important to this reading. Give me one moment because I just want to see if I can find it. That's so, it's so fascinating, right? It's so fascinating because it's the fact that I have like all of them with the exception of yours. And I want to point out that that is giving me further information about the fact I keep on getting. And I would be very interested if your dreams kind of bring forth something about this. Somebody in a past life trying to steal your title to something. And it was wild too because I was about to articulate that, but then the like again, like the fact that I can't find the book is almost giving me further confirmation on it because it's the observation of working through, right? Working through that unresolved experience that in some way, shape, or form or fashion is still occurring energetically between you. Thank you. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, especially with this Empress energy here, right? Because the Empress energy, and I want to point this out, right? The space by which it's interesting because it qualifies into the difference between what feels generous versus what feels demanding, right? The work that we effectively apply to things to try to make something energetically better versus the feeling like versus another person. Like I keep on getting the space by which you're doing everything you can and another person says do better, which is the moment by which we recognize that we're in a trauma environment, and you come into the space by which you have the observation. I feel like this is what you arrived to in the past life that you used to explain to others. It seems like there's nothing I can do to please them, right? Because in the moment by which you identify that, then you recognize that is the nature of the relationship. Sending you so much support on that journey, Darren. If this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. I have one more spot available today before the list will be closed. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation. And now it's driving me nuts because I want to find your book so I can put that information in it. You know what? I guarantee you, it's going to pop up as soon as I'm done this read, and then I'll be able to put it in again because I feel like the fact that I couldn't find it, right? Because I couldn't find it is further confirmation of the fact that it feels energetically unresolved from the past life. All right. If you would like to get on the list, as I mentioned, you'll be the next person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Hi, Alexandra. We were looking for you earlier. Yeah, I'm just going to read over. And thank you, Julianne, for reposting. Always appreciate when you guys repost. Yeah, past life came up at the last reading at the end of it. And Made in Appalachia, thank you for the follow. I thought so on too. Yeah. Nobody, thank you for the follow. Well, you remember when I said it's connected to that? Because remember when I said somebody trying to take a title, someone trying to take a title from you by utilizing a false accusation, right? And it's really wild because if you could see the comments that were coming through over on the place where we keep the videos while I was doing this reading, you'll see exactly the accusations that I was Like, it's interesting because it was almost energy in the place where we keep the videos, like channeling the energy that was surrounding a past life. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, eldest daughter. I know that. Oh, sending you guys support. Thank you. Yeah, I'm the eldest now too. Pooja, I'm happy to read for you on that if you'd like to get on the list. List is open, but I'm sending you so much support on that journey. Yeah, and this is what I keep on seeing, Ella, right? Like that's the continuation point where like your healing begins when you make the observation and you say, like, it seems like nothing I can do will ever be enough to please you, right? Because that's the identification of a trauma environment. Thank you for encouraging everyone to tap Sparkles. I appreciate you. Guys, make sure to give Tap Sparkles some love. In terms of like the thing about it, in relationality, the hard thing with energy like that is unless they recognize, unless they recognize it, right? Unless they recognize it and they want to resolve it too, like it's not a question as to whether it'll be resolved for you. It's a question as to whether they're gonna like. It feels to me like I see them very much in the same energy of the past life, is what I keep on getting. You know, you're so welcome, Ella. Sending you support on that journey. Like the possibility, like we could delve into the possibility, like in another read, we could probably delve into the possibility as to what is needed to be able to heal. And I feel like the thing about it is, you know, I think it's interesting. Um, why do I feel like there's not a great age gap between them? Like I don't know if they're twins, but like I feel like there was something about that. Like there's something I keep on hearing, something about the marginalia of an age difference is what I keep on getting. I just keep on hearing the marginalia of an age difference so much that it almost doesn't count. Yeah, I've got, hold on, holy wow, I have so much trauma from that lifetime still. Yes, you pick some of that up. Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, Ella, if you pop over to the place where you keep the videos, you'll see all of that energy that arrived as soon as I started doing your reading. Yeah, right before my reading. Absolutely. Yeah, they both. Yeah, and Leia, thank you for getting on the list, dear. The list is now closed. Good to see you again, dear. You see, you should have stayed on the list because then you would have been the first one read for today. Good to see you, dear. Okay, let's get to it. Grand Rising, Colleen, how you doing today? Oh, yeah, thank you for confirmation on what I was seeing. Thank you. The marginalia only 18 months apart. Yeah, and that's why I feel like that was specifically done to help them see the absurdity, right? Like it says to me, it was something that was the carryover from the past life in the space by which it almost like I keep on hearing it doesn't, them understanding the fact that it almost doesn't even matter because of the marginalia of it. Yeah, thank you so much for the follow, Rick. All right, we're gonna continue right now. I gotta find your book. It's gonna drive me nuts. Okay. I mean, I'll remember. I'll remember. I'll put it in as soon as it comes back up. But I think it wasn't showing itself because it was related to the reading. All right, we're going to continue right now. The next person we're reading for today is Alexandra. Alexandra, can you let me know if we're doing a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And before we continue, the next person, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10, and when we get to 1, I'll reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the B. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know. My personal opinion, I think Yeshua would have absolutely loved Zeppelin. Okay. Maybe I'm crazy, but I have a feeling that Yeshua would probably consider Led Zeppelin peak, is all I'm saying. Okay. Oh my goodness. I need to point out, you know, I have to point out your ability. We are here, nostalgia. We're here to heal each other. We're here to help each other out. This is here. This is all good. This is all the energy that we're able to share in this space is a good space. And the space by which you have to understand that the space by which you're moving through trying to create fear, right? You're creating a fear-based mindset, right? And there's only one energy that does that. So do you recall, do you see anything that Yeshua said that had anything to do with casting fear? Yeshua's message was one about hope, love, and generosity. So the space by which you're trying to utilize Yeshua's name by trying to articulate that we should be afraid is literally going against the teachings of Yeshua. I just need to point that out. And I say that because you have to be very conscientious and careful, because I'm not afraid for you. I hope you realize, I hope you see that, because that's what they were trying to communicate to you. So, all right, let's continue right now. And Rick, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, let's get to it. I think it might be my favorite comment I've seen. I kind of, oh my God, he definitely would have. Absolutely. All right, let's get to it. I can't. It's the fun. I'm sorry. It's the best comment. It's the best comment I have ever seen. All right, let's continue right now. And thank you, LP, for the follow. Alexander, you said it's in the disco, dear? All right. All right. Is this inside? Is this inside tea or outside tea? Outside. Okay. Okay. A family member just revealed to me that they are making a large move. They hit me with this news. My instinct was to say I would follow them so we could stay together. I find the logistics a little more nerve wracking, finding work and building from zero. This is all happening fast since she plans to go very soon. Um, my, the individuals who are traveling there, these individuals are all you have from a family perspective, but you have friends that are reminding you that you need to think about your life and what you want to do with it. I feel suddenly lost. I was building something here, but without my family, I feel empty staying here. I originally moved back only because my family was here, and I've been called the last 2 years to move out to this locationality. So maybe this would be an opportunity to live this out. I would love some life path advice regarding the possible move. So obviously, before we begin this reading, we always articulate that we never use the tarot to make decisions for us, but to get guidance and relationality to what we need to bring to a determination or decision. So we'll be conscientious of that as we continue with this read. I am going to pin up Alexandra here. Guys, make sure to give Alexandra some love. Interesting. Yeah. 4 cards. It's that guide, man. It's one of your guides. Yeah, I've got wow. All right, let's discuss it. Okay? This is coming through. I've got two. Every time I read for you, you've got 2 guides. And they're it's very interesting because they don't like the thing that I find is very intriguing with you when I read for you is you've got 2 guides that are not they're not always in alignment on things. Okay? Like that's but that like that's the thing. And I think you probably realize this too. I don't know if you can sometimes hear them arguing because and it's not it's like it's a and you have to understand this. And I like to point this out. It's a loving argument, right? You often I keep on getting like the fact by which they're arguing in terms of what is best for you is the understanding by which they have your best interest at heart, even if they don't, even if they're apart. They have, and that's them, and that's what's wild about it. They're saying even if we're apart, you have my best interest at heart, right? And so I'm sure you've probably picked up on the fact, like, and thank you for confirming that you've recognized them bickering to a certain extent, because it's like, and again, it's a lovely bickering, right? It sounds like birdsong. Like when we care about each other and we're bickering, it sounds like birdsong because it's energy that's effectively trying to identify, um, like what would effectively be best for you. And the message is coming through on this to take into consideration is the word I keep on getting is ultimately, 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 this is a good thing. And why am I saying ultimately? This is a good thing. Okay? Because this is a fulfillment of your manifestation goal. This is a fulfillment. You have to look at it. You have to look at it for what it is. Okay? This is a fulfillment. This is a fulfillment of your manifestation goal. Right? And I want you to understand that. It's a fulfillment of your manifestation goal. And the reason I keep on hearing, ultimately, it's a good thing, is because, and I want you to understand this, right? There's a lot of possibility in having, like, it's a blessing to have a manifestation goal as a safety net, right? It's a blessing to have a manifestation goal as a safety net. And it's interesting because the guide that's coming through on this, and you know which guide I'm talking about, often articulates upon the fact that others misinterpret their story, right? And the guide that's specifically speaking related to this is the misinterpretation of that story is the space by which I keep on getting every time I read into this, someone being like, what gave you any thought that I wasn't in any place that I wouldn't desire to be willingly, right? That the observation, right? The observation of one's willingness in order, and I keep on getting like it's really beautiful. Like there's a really beautiful message that's coming through in that guide that's trying to articulate upon a story by which they say, what do you do when you care about two hearts that are in very different places, right? What does one do, right? What does one do when your heart lives in two different places? You travel a lot. You travel a lot. You end up traveling a lot, right? Right? You end up traveling a lot. Or you figure out ways, you figure out a lifestyle by which you can split your time, right? Because that's what that guide is advising. The guides like pointing to themselves and being like, do what I do. Right? Like that's what that guide, that's their opinion on the subject, right? That's what that guide's articulating. Now, the other guide, I'm seeing has a different perspective, right? It's a different perspective. And that's where I'm hearing ultimately this is a good thing. right? Because the thing is, when how does your perspective change when you think of that, when you think of it less as something that requires you to move rapidly, and more as aspiring or considering that as home base, is what I keep on getting, right? And it's interesting because they keep on utilizing the term home base, which is to say it's like, that's why they keep on saying ultimately it's a good thing, because the observation of understanding, right, that effectively frees you, right? Does that perception of it free you to identify the fact that you can say ultimately, you know, right? Ultimately, you know where your destination will lead you, which frees you in the time intervening, right? That when there's something joyous in being able to identify and articulate and say, right, that is where ultimately you see yourself. Ultimately doesn't necessarily need to be today. That's a nice thing about ultimately. That's a nice thing about ultimately. It's ultimate. It's ultimate, which means what you do between now and that ultimate time is respectively yours. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, we've got the Empress card there. And I feel like, the thing about I keep on seeing is, um it's articulating to me that I see, and I keep on getting, I see a situation, right? And this is what I keep on getting in relationality to the narrative of following another story, right? That I see somebody that wishes that they had more time, right? Like I literally see a conversation with you speaking to someone that's literally saying to you that they wish they had more time to do something properly. And there's a bet, and if that's the case, your ability to remain somewhere might be their highest blessing. Okay? I want you to think about that. Okay? If your confirmation on this is if another person is agonizing, right? If they are agonizing to you and they are panicking because they don't feel that they have enough time to do something properly, your ability to remain somewhere could ultimately be their highest blessing, because you are effectively safeguarding their journey, right? That's not you, right? That's not you missing. That's not you missing the trip. That's you saying to someone, I'll be there eventually. But in the meantime, I can hold things steady here. So I feel like in terms of the messages related to this, like these are things to take ultimately. And here's the thing I like about your guides, right? And you have to understand, the two guides you have would never, ever, you know this about those guides, they would never give you a directive. They would never even dream. They would never even dream of giving you a directive. But the observation of making sure that you're perceiving it, right? Make sure that you're perceiving it in a way by which you identify. I just keep on hearing this, and this is where they're unified, right? The unifying message, the unification point between them is when I keep on hearing them say, I would say, write this down. Ultimately, this is a good thing. Ultimately, this is a good thing. How you choose to navigate that ultimate, that is the question of timing. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. I'm going to show you these cards too, because I feel like this is for the first guide. Okay. This is one who is articulating to remember their story. And this is the other guide. Okay. All right. Thank you, dear. And I love the fact that bottom of the deck was Empress, which is basically like in this they can agree. In this they can agree. Oh, it's funny. It was the Empress. Where'd the Empress go? Oh, that's wild. Let's continue right now. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Alexandra. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is closed today, but you can get on the list tomorrow and you'll be the first person read for. The next person we're reading for today is, I'm still looking for Yaz. If if Yazin isn't here, we're moving to Lisa. Lisa, if you're here. Oh, thank you, Colleen, for that beautiful gift. Lisa, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Excellent. Just reading over some of the comments that came through. Okay. Well, I mean, I want to point out, I don't like to qualify whether a tarot reading is real or not as to whether individuals read reversals. The choice or determination for an individual to choose to read reversals is always ultimately the reader's choice. I read reversals and transverse because you have to understand every time you read a card in a different direction, you basically double the deck. So I read reversals, upright, and transverse. So typically I'm actually working with 3 times as many cards. So, all right. How you doing today, Zaza? Oh, I appreciate that, Zach. Thank you. And thank you for being here and receiving these messages. All right, let's continue right now. Hi, Lisa. I just need to read over some of Alexandra's comments. Have a good one, Bridget. LP, thank you for the follow. Absolutely. Agreed. Thank you as well, Sparkles. He definitely would have. I'm glad you guys are on my side on this. All that came to mind was wings. I was close. That's okay. That's good. Use those intuition muscles. Oh, you have a beautiful day, Bridget. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I have an inherent distrust of anyone who doesn't like Zeppelin. Absolutely. Yep, LP, thank you for the follow. I know, but I need to point out, I feel like it's interesting because I'm noticing a tendency there of it's helping me calibrate to understand the quality by which another person's navigating projected energy. Yeah. Thank you as well, It's My, for receiving this message. Thank you for confirmation, Alexandra. Yeah, very relatable. How you doing today, Avatar? We're doing we are short on time today, so we're prioritizing one cards and personals. If we have time today, we're going to go ahead and do we'll be doing a collective, but we should have time tomorrow. Yeah, happy to read the list, Kath. The list I got right now is Yaz, Lisa, Victoria, Julia, It's My, Kathleen, and Leah. Okay. Hi, dear. All right, let's get to it. Guys, remember not to message strange people offering things if they PM them. Kumi, thank you for the follow. Excellent. All right, question in the disco for Lisa. Just a reminder, friends, if you are a paid member on the place where we keep the videos or a super fan, you can have access to our disco channel where you can post your questions. All right, what do we got here? Where'd you post it, Lisa? Hold on. I got you. Today's read. Is this inside tea or outside tea? Okay. And thank you. I once had a dream where I had a pack of. Oh, well, that's related to one of your guides too, Alexandra. But we could, if you ever want to do a deeper dive on that read, we can always do a dream interpretation on it. But that dream to me is confirmation on one of your guides. Yeah, yeah, it is. No, it's definitely connected to one of them. Like that you telling me that dream gives me confirmation on who I was seeing there. Absolutely. Got you. Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, I like to point this out, like, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, that's so funny, Chariot. Thank you for letting me know. You're so welcome, Kath. Absolutely. Okay, anytime you want, dear. You just need to put the full reading up and we can do a dream interpretation on it. All right. Did Lisa say this is outside tea? Okay. And before we continue right now, let's warm up those intuition muscles with intuition check. I've got the animal oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I'll reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the otter. We'll do that again after the next reading. Outside for Lisa. Excellent, guys. I'm going to pin up Lisa here. Make sure to give Lisa some love. Outside, I would love to know about the guides, whether one comes through or many. Can they tell me about themselves or their connection to me through their time and their purpose in my journey presently? So the way it often works with guides is guides often like to present themselves to you when the time's right. So I can do the best I can do is give you an energetic read in terms of what I'm seeing there, and we'll see what comes through. That said, can I get 4 cards, please, for Lisa? Highest priority relationality to the guides. Okay. Mm. Oh, wow, they're stuck together. Okay, that's good to know. Oh my gosh, there's 3 stuck together. Okay, interesting. Okay. All right, so I've got 2 guides around you. One is an ancestral that I see who I'm getting an ancestral who you've known in this experience that's saying to me that they've chosen to stay. They've made the intentional choice to stay, specifically and particularly because they know that they can see that. I often see this when individuals are trying to work to heal something in something familial, or trying to heal something related to a familial connection, because it feels to me like it says like it's somebody who wants to stay close to your ear so that they can give you energetic insight in terms of the nature of some long-standing situations energetically, that I feel like I see you like being able to help or guide others through is what I'm getting. Now, the other energy that I'm seeing here, it's interesting because the other guide I'm seeing, I like to, there are some guides that don't like, they don't want to make their presence known. Like, unless things are not going, like if things are not going well, then they're going to arrive, and they're going to arrive in the space by which I just keep on hearing like the message is coming through with this guide is that they're here to see you thrive, is what I keep on getting. And the thing about it, and I feel like the reason I see that this guide is energetically connected to you, um I would not be surprised, like I keep on getting, if you have a tendency of putting your own spin on things, in the best way possible, which is the observation of, like, I keep on seeing, like, the observation of, like, your confirmation on this guide adores it when somebody's like, yeah, I know that's how they said to do it, but this is what feels right. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way I can that's the best way I can identify this guide, which is the modality by which somebody says, like, I know that's what they said, but this is what they meant. Is what I keep on getting. I know I just keep on hearing the guide say, I know that's what they said, right? But this is what they meant, right? Is having to understand. Like, I feel like this is often a guide that recognizes the importance of what is effectively often lost in translation, is what I can best describe, right? Like, and I have to point this out. This guide goes absolutely bonkers when they see others that are like really, really rigid on convention, because they're like, what are you doing? And they'll be like, it said to do it like this, and being like, why would you do it like that? Why did you take it literally? Like, why did you take, like, they're taking it literally. They're taking it literally. Why would they do, I don't know. Like, that's the guide. Okay. Like, that's the guide I'm seeing. Which is like, gets very, like, gets very unnerviated, right? Like almost like a little child, right? Like, it's a type of energy. Like, I want you to imagine a situation where you go tell a child to do something, right? You go tell a child to do something. You're like, okay, do this. I'll be right back. And you come back and you go, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And you go, well, you told me to do this. And being like, why would I tell you? No, why would I tell you to do? No, I told you. You know, it's that type of guy. It's that type. So this guide gets very, very frustrated when they see others taking something, like taking something spiritual and trying really hard to make it literal. It gets, the best way I can, it gets, there's not, it's like, it is, it's energy. And I feel like, like, you should take it as a point. I say this because you should take it as a very high honor that the guide's working with you, because that means that the guide recognizes that there's something in your head by which you have good sense. Okay, you have good sense. And that's why, like, that's why it's the energy, right? It's the energy of personal consensus, right? It's the energy of personal consensus, which is being like, well, that, no, I wouldn't do that. Why? Because that doesn't make any sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make a lick of sense. Right? Like, um, and so I feel like there's something, and I feel like that guide, I don't know. I feel like that guide's like there often to help you have to deal. Like, the hard thing about it is having to often have to deal with obtuse energy. You know, like, that's the thing about it. Don't, like, I keep on seeing, don't let another person's obtuseness, like, get the best of you, because they're there to help you help others make more sense. And it has something to do with your Akashic. You're there to help others make more sense. All right. I just want to write down these cards for you because they're important, and I'm sure we'll come back to them later. So, Six of Pentacles, and then this is wild, this right here. I know exactly who this guy is. I know exactly who this guy is. Hold on. Yeah, it's a death in reverse. Yep. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles in its reversal. Yep. And the King of Swords. Yeah. No, King of Swords in its reversal. Yeah, and I just see that they're there to help you with some obtuse people. They're there to help you with some obtuse people. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. if you would like to get on the list is closed. Being get on the list for tomorrow, you'll be the first person read for. You'll also have a priority, which means to be read for before we start the daily collective. I'm going to continue. The next person, I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. Yeah, that could change. I love that guide. Yeah, me too. Very few people know. Indeed. Hi there. You're so welcome. Yes, that ancestor is my great grandfather. I've known for years, and on the other, hilariously accurate. Yeah, and I think that I think that if they haven't made their presence known to you, they will eventually. They'll be like, hi. All right, we're gonna continue right now. The next person that we're reading for right now is going to be Chariot. Chariot, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Yeah. Oh, they definitely have. I just want to know who that other guide is with all that. I mean, those are, like, there, I will say there feels like, it feels like there's an angelic that's in the distance, but I feel like the thing about like the angelic's there to kind of like, it's like the angelic is very busy right now. It's like the angelic's very busy right now. They got a lot of stuff on their plate. Oh, you send it through the. Thank you for letting me know where the dream was. Excellent. Yes, I've got you after. I've got you after Chariot. Okay, just bear with me a moment. Excellent. One moment, please. All right. Is this inside tea or outside tea on this dream interpretation? All right. Outside's fine. Perfect. Absolutely. All right. And before we continue right now, I've got the animal oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the ram. We'll do that again after the next reading. Colleen, if you message me privately, I can send you the information on the deck. All right. The only part, oh, we're doing a dream interpretation. You know what that means. We've got to bust out the dream coconut. Perfect. All right, let's get to it. The only part of my dream that I can remember that stood out to me was I was looking into a container, like a medium-sized fish tank, and there were 4 foxes, a mom and 3 kits, and they were small enough to fit in the tank and move around, almost like the tank was another world. And their orange fur had a soft, shimmery glow. I stuck my hand in to pet them, and the mom had this air like, yes, look at me. Look at the perfect babies I made. Aren't they beautiful? They were so sweet and rubbed against my hand as I was petting them. I woke up in the most loving and creative mood. 4 cards, please. 3 cards. It's a guide message. It's a guide message from your guides helping you see how they perceive you. And the observation by which you, the way we see indications by which we see that this is the guide's perception of you, is the indication of the fact that it said that you were looking into a container, like a medium-sized fish tank, right? Because I would not be surprised if you're someone who often feels like you don't have enough space to create, right? I would not be surprised if you, I wouldn't be surprised if you also have a tendency of having, if you don't have a lot of space, or you wish you had more space, because there's something very important that I see there. And it's interesting that you described it as a medium-sized fish tank, right? Because that's also potentially talking about the locationality by which you're also working. So you said that you're in a container in a medium-sized fish tank, which is the space by which you may feel that you are personally in a midpoint in your own career or in your own energetic profession, which is why you identified it as potentially medium-sized, right? Because it's the observation of something that you hope will be able to grow. And you identified the fact by which you said that there was a fox with by three kits. You are effectively the fox mother in that dream space. And when you saw that the orange fur had a soft shimmery glow, this is potentially what you were identifying. You were potentially seeing, the guides were showing you how your aura appears to them. So I don't know if you have a deep affinity with the color orange, or if the color orange um, plays some type of part in the work you're creating. But orange is often, when I, for the purposes of our reading, oranges often are indicative of someone who is focused or prioritizing joy, because it's the observation or the understanding of the joy that we effectively bring forth towards things that allow us the ability to be able to do something as well as possible. So what do we see that you're doing with your work? You're trying to find opportunities by which you can create more joy. And that's why you identified the fact that when you stuck your hand down to pet them, you said that the mother had this air, like, look at, and I love what you said that the fox mother said, because they said, look at me, right? Look at me. They said, look at me first, right? Which is saying, look at me, look at my perfect babies. Now, I feel like there's something important about this, right? Because this has to do with the placement of yourself in your work. Because the observation by which you may be identifying to another, right? You, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a hard time talking about your work, right? I don't know if you're potentially working through some kind of like stage fright or some kind of self-consciousness, because what the guides are articulating is hearing what the fox mother said, right? The fox mother said to you, look at me. Look how beautiful and perfect my babies are. Aren't they beautiful? Right? Because that's the guide saying, you see, in order to show off your work, you gotta work on this. You gotta work on that, like, hello. You gotta work on the ability to be seen, right? The agony, like, this is the pain of a true artist, right? You're going through the pain of a true artist, because a true artist doesn't, like, often a true artist, it does not do something because they want attention, but because they want to bring attention to something. But in order to bring attention to something, you have to go through the pesky experience, right? The pesky experience of being known, of being seen, of being observed, right? And so if this is something that you've been working through, the guides are giving you this vision to help you through it, to say, again, think about this animal spirit guide as a representative point of what you need to embody in those landscapes, right? So whenever you're feeling Like whenever you're out, or whenever you're at it, whenever you're, I'm not sure what you do creatively, but whenever you're at an event and you want to get small, right? If you feel like that space by which you're like, you'd rather kind of, you know, pull away, right? Think of the energy that the fox mother brought forth in the dream space, right? Because the fox mother, right? They weren't like, they weren't preening, right? They weren't preening for themselves. They were bubbling over with enthusiasm about what it is that they're energetically making. So if that is something that you feel self-conscious about, this is a gift that the guides are giving you to help you through it. And that's why you saw the fact that when you saw that hand that was petting them, that was your guide, right? That was your guide reassuring you. And that's why effectively you potentially woke up with a lot of that creative mood. Bottom of the deck, right? It's hard, right? Yeah, like I can see, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something in relationality to you having a really hard space, like a really hard time, as it relates to being in public, like working through the observation of having to put oneself out there, right? It's hard, but, and I feel like this is why, like, if this is something, right, that's where I see that container, right, in the space by which you feel, I keep on, in the space by which you feel like you're being observed, right? Because that's the fish tank. That's the shadow work that you're doing, right? Whenever you feel like you're in a fish tank, remember the fox mother, right? So don't think of it so much as others that are judging you or looking at you, so much as you kind of being in the space by which you're energetically proud and enthusiastic to show others, to share with others what it is that you are energetically doing. Thank you so much for having that reading with me. And if this message, Shariah, and if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. Thank you so much, BB, for that gift. The list is closed today, but I'm happy to add you to the list for tomorrow, and you'll be the first person read for. Guys, make sure to give BB some love. Readers supporting readers, wonderful reader as well. So good to see you today, dear. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Good to see you as well, Nikki. Absolutely. I know. I love when the animal spirits come through in the dream space, and that was a beautiful one of them. You have an affinity for foxes. You used to hate the color orange when you were younger, but you're over that. I do have a hard time with that. Ah, Leo and Chiron, that'll do it. I'm working on a painting right now, and I'm making, oh, you're making some on astrology. Thank you for confirming what I was seeing. Yes, like let this is these are the guides, like being like giving you that vote of confidence. Good to see you there. How you doing today, BB? All right. And reading over those who are joining us on the place where we keep the videos. Righto, constructively. Throw words in, key terminology. I mean, yeah, I mean, like the I need to point out, like, I think that it's important, like when we're first, when individuals are learning, keywords are important. Like, we don't want to diminish the fact that when we're working to learn the cards, like keywords are like they can really be massively helpful. But that's a little bit like the way that I teach is much less upon my the way I teach is much less based uh on keywords so much as it's built on cohesion, is kind of the best way I can describe it. And I actually have a class that I teach monthly, that we have a class program that if you head over to my stack, you'll be able to find things about that as well. How you doing today, Sidoni? All right, we're going to continue right now. Yeah, list is closed. No problem. Yep. Yes, I've got you on the list here. I will say though, so friends, I do have to ask, I need to make a request. We are short on time today. I have a hard stop at 2 p.m. So I'm going to take a pause right now in the readings to be able to do the one cards, and then we'll continue forward in terms of the list. So I just want to make sure that we're having the space to honor the one cards right now. So if you guys are comfortable with that, I would also like to ask and request if there's anyone who would be comfortable with being moved to tomorrow's read. You'll have you'll be the second person read for. So if you're able to do that as well, please let me know. I'll appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much. Did you get on? Yes. Leia, are you saying that you're okay being moved to tomorrow? Thank you. I appreciate that. Excellent. All right, let's continue right now. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So, and you'll be second tomorrow, and you'll be read for before we start the collective. Thank you as well, Yaz. I appreciate it. You'll all be getting additional cards in your reading. Thank you as well. Excellent. So, Leia and Yaz, you've both been added tomorrow, and you'll have an additional card in your reading. All right, let's continue right now. All right, the next. So before we continue, I'll be on tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, and as we continue, let's. I just you made 3 videos. Thank you for confirming, Chariot. More confirmation on the reading. Amazing. Absolutely. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we are now going to get started on one card readings for super fans and paid members. So if you are a super fan, just go ahead and put your question in the chat. Oh, I appreciate that as well, Grace. Thank you. All right. One moment, please. I got you, Nikki. Yours was the first one that flew out, actually. I keep on hearing if something's healthy, it doesn't need to be done last minute. You know? Yeah, like especially like, I like to point this out. You know, like don't let another person play keep away. Like someone playing keep away with plans is the modality by which they don't give you enough time to energetically plan for it. Animal Oracle. Yeah, like when we care about when we're respective of each other's schedules, we don't do things last minute is what I keep on seeing. So it's like it says to me like trust your observation if something like that's occurring. You know? I got you, Ava. One card on past life connection with them. It's I every time I feel like I see a situation where someone knew about you but they didn't have access to you. You are inaccessible to them. And I feel like it's interesting because I don't know why it almost feels like somebody who's got some kind of like I feel like some of it's carried over as it relates to their own like it's weird. I don't know why I keep on getting like a fear of touching you. Yeah, especially with this blank manifestation goal. Like it's funny because I was gonna say like it's like like I see somebody who doesn't know what to do with their feelings. Like there's something there where it's like I can see somebody who's like I don't know why I keep on hearing someone say like I'm afraid to touch you. But it says to me it has to do with some kind of carryover in relationality to a past life connection with them. All right. Thank you for those heart me's. It's my guys. Please remember to recharge your heart me's if you'd like an animal oracle card on top of your one card. One card for Laurel. Oh, on sharing that. Yeah, here's the thing about it. If they come back with notes, it's a very good thing. Right? Like if someone like the best thing you can hear is feedback. Because feedback means somebody's very interested in it. Right? Feedback means somebody's very interested. So if they come back with like notes, remember like that's because they're invested in it. Alexandra, one card, highest priority, please. And guys, make sure to give Laurel some love too. Readers supporting readers. Oh, got you. Thank you. So Ward, these are one card readings for paid members. So if you'd like to become a paid member, I'm happy to draw a card for you. Absolutely. Where are we now? Alexandra, I feel like this is connected to what we were reading before. right? Ultimately, this is your manifestation goal coming into fruition, right? It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, right? Ultimately, it's the same message I was getting. Ultimately, this is a good thing. Remember, it's not, I keep on hearing, it's not a yes no. It's not a yes no, it's a when question, right? Think about timing, not about direction, right? Think about what works, like think about the flow state. Like don't let it go, let it flow. Ella, one card highest, please. Judgment in its reversal. I feel like there's something interesting here. Like, I feel like this is a continuation of what we were reading on the past life and you having to say to someone, right? Like, and I want to point this out. There's something really important when we say to someone, have I ever done anything to make you think that I haven't had your best interest at heart? Right? That changes conversations, right? Because the observation and the way you can usually identify that is not someone getting upset, not someone getting upset at you in terms of what you do, but changing the conversation and saying, what would you have preferred I did? Right? What would you have preferred I did? Continuing here. Yes. One card on, you guys, it's really hard to do dream interpretations with one card, but we'll do our best. On the dream. Oh, is this okay? Is this inside tea or outside tea? It feels like it's talking about I keep on hearing it's about consummate wins. It's about consummate wins, which is the identification point that things are often hard to begin, but once they get started, right? They start like the like it becomes easier and easier to do something. Yeah, especially with the Hierophant. If this has to do with a project or something that you're doing, I keep on seeing that um like after two, right? Like after you do something successfully twice, then it's gonna, like I keep on getting, it's just gonna like move into a space by like, especially I feel like it's actually related to career or you allowing something that you want to do creatively to become a calling. I keep on hearing the two victories that then allow for a foundation to occur, a foundational moment. Animal oracle, yeah, the stag energy, right? If this is you trying to move towards a passion, this is a dream about a passion becoming a profession. One card for it's my highest, please. We've got the four of, make sure, I keep on seeing, make sure that you and another person are working on the same calendar, which is not talking about like when this happens, but like when is a date, right? Like not, it's like I keep on hearing like when is a date? Animal, bottom of the deck. Yeah, because when could be like, when could be tomorrow, or it could be 10 years from now, right? When only becomes real when there's a date attached to it. And I keep on seeing if somebody's having a conversation and they articulate upon the space by which they say they're not ready to have that conversation, right? You say to them, well, when would be a good time to return back to it, right? Like the don't allow someone to circle upon, like don't allow someone to avoid, but circle in terms of what it is that you're working towards. Hi there. These Ruby, these are one card readings for those who are paid members to my channel. So if you'd like to become a paid member, I'm happy to draw a card for you. You're so welcome, Yaz. That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, it's a cumulative victory situation. So it's talking to you about your life path where you'll have two successes. that then allow you to do something professionally, right? The first two are going to be like the first two are going to be hard, and then they're just and then it's going to start to just accumulate. Like then it's going to be able to then like that's if you've been thinking about when you'll be able to do something like full time, like that's what they're articulating. Colleen, I got you one card message from Spirit, please. You know, it says to me like um don't let another person like someone does like don't let another person try to avoid an apology by identifying that something bad is occurring to them, right? Like it's not if somebody owes you an apology and they reach out talking about something terrible that's occurring, right? It's not that then if they know they owe you apology, right? Like then that's not they shouldn't be that you shouldn't be the one that they're reaching out to, right? But it's very convenient, right? It's a very convenient place that another person puts themselves in when they know that they owe you an apology, but instead they arrive with bad news. Because then when you will try to remind them of the apology, they say, "How could you?" Being like, "I see what you're trying to do," right? We don't put each other when we care about each other. We don't put each other in uncomfortable situations in terms of identifying that we only pay attention to one another when something is energetically desperate. Kath, one card regarding them. Do they have other intentions? I mean, it feels to me like there's something I keep on seeing. If they haven't articulated, it feels to me like there's definitely something here where they want to keep the door open on something. Yeah, especially with the Empress, right? I keep on getting like I want to point out um friends, people who want to be friends never have to articulate upon the fact that they want to be friends. They just are friends. Yeah, energy doesn't like energy that is friends doesn't have to articulate that they desire to be friends. Is what I keep on getting. Right? Like why would I almost see you saying to somebody like why wouldn't we be friends? You know? Yeah. You're so welcome, Yaz. You're so welcome, Team Ilsana. Good to see you today. You're so welcome, Yaz. Sending you support, Colleen. But I feel like they're trying to punctuate it because I know that you're past it, but it feels like maybe someone else isn't, right? Which can also be a frustrating. All right, my friends, final call for one card readings for super fans or paid members. I've got so Julia and Kathleen. I've got room today for one more reading. So I wanted to ask if either. Oh, I got you, Heather Love. Oh, but no. Heather, be patient on something right now. Make sure that you're articulating. Make sure that you're articulating on what it is you aspire for a relationship. You're very close to healthy partnership right now, is what I keep on seeing. And I keep on hearing healthy relationship is not going to be afraid to have a conversation in terms of what they aspire for in one. Animal Oracle, yeah, the owl, let your honesty do the talking. If your honesty makes someone walk, let them keep walking. Thank you, Kathleen. I deeply appreciate that. Excellent. And Ro, highest priority, please. You're healing. Your job is not to forgive someone entirely. You can just tell somebody where you're at. You know? Yeah, honesty is beautiful, right? Because when we're honest with how we feel, then it allows a new possibility or avenues of healing. You know, especially like I keep wondering, tell them about it. Let them know if something bothered you, because that's the space by which they can effectively work to grow and heal, right? I got you, Julia. One card on roommate. It's in correlation with what I already shared with you. Yeah, activate, activate, activate is what I keep on getting. Activate, activate, because I see a lot of vacillating. Got you. Ooh. One card for Heather, please. I keep on seeing I keep on hearing a no. There's no such thing as a no. There's often a not yet. You know, it never hurts to let someone know, is what I keep on seeing. Same thing. A no now could become a no now could be a yes at any moment, right? Because the ability to let another person know that you're interested in something is like giving them, like you've given them a seed, is what I keep on hearing. Thank you, Spiritualist, for that donation. So just a reminder to those who are joining us on the place where we keep the videos. Uh, these readings are for paid members. So if you would like a card pulled, all you need to do is become a paid member. I'll be happy to draw a card for you. Excellent. All right. Final call. Yeah, that was for you, Rainbow. Yeah, it was saying to me that was the a no today. It's not a no, it's a not yet, especially as it relates to you putting yourself up for something or offering something, right? Like don't feel embarrassed about it. Remember, remember that's you taking initiative on something. Have a great day. It's my all right. Final call right now for anyone who is a super fan or a paid member who hasn't had a card pulled today. Um, Julia, would you like to have your, I've got space to do your reading today. Yeah, I got you, Julie. One card, please. Um, Take some time for yourself to rest and recover from something. Yeah, like especially with this magician energy, you know, you deserve rest too. Like it says to me, plan a little mini, like it's giving me mini vacation energy, you know? Like don't, like I keep on hearing, don't diminish, don't diminish taking some time for yourself on something, because I keep on seeing healthy energy is going to be supportive of you doing something that's nourishing for you, you know? Especially to get something done. Like it almost feels like a working vacation, like something where you can really focus upon something. Thank you. I appreciate that, Julia. Excellent. I will add you to tomorrow. So for anybody who would like to get on the list tomorrow, we have 4 spots available for tomorrow before the list is closed. You're so welcome, dear. I appreciate you. And thank you guys so much as well over on the place where we keep the videos. Just a reminder, thank you so much for those donations. For anybody who would like to become a paid member on the place where we keep the videos, your paid membership entitles you to a free reading each day. If you became a super fan today or a paid member, welcome. Please message me directly with a disco gift, and I will be happy to give you an invite to our superfan and paid member only disco channel. There you can introduce yourself to the collective, as well as have in the perk section, you'll find a discount code to our next tarot class subscription program, which is going to be held on Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. June 18th at 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the ace cards. I will be back on tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. PST, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. We will be doing, we will be doing a reverse live, so I'll probably be prioritizing the readings. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing. And I'll prioritize everyone who is on the list prior to the readings occurring. So everybody who's been on the hold list today, you'll be first read for once we get on live tomorrow. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you To my followers, old and new, thank you for being here. Hold on, I saw Ruby get on. Ruby, yep, absolutely. You have a great day, Ro. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Final call for anyone. Yep, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. I got look out for you, Ruby. I got you, dear. Again, I'm afraid I can't give any information related to legality. I can give you an energetic read if you prefer, as it relates to current, like the energy you need to embody around circumstances or situations. A general read for Ruby. It feels like something, I feel like there's something about you continuing to articulate to another person that you're doing everything possible to try to harmonize. Yeah, bottom of the deck, right? This is, I keep on seeing the space by which you articulate to another, that the elaboration of every way you're trying to harmonize, it requires healthy, that like that is what collaboration means, right? It's not, I keep on hearing, it's not about doing the bare minimum. It's about doing something in a collaborative way. You're so welcome, dear. And I just keep on seeing, continue to articulate, articulate, articulate. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Huge thank you to my subscribers and my paid members. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. Thank you for allowing me to be able to do what I'm able to do here. And the biggest thank you to my mod, K Megan. I hope you're getting rest wherever you may be. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.